You know what, Raptor fans? As much as this game was real tight, real tough, grinded out, obviously DeMar and Fred VanVleet do not play in this one. Raptors come away with a 93-86 victory in Orlando. Was it pretty? No. But it's a win without two very, very big pieces of this team. Coming into the game, obviously DeMar and Freddie sit the game. I got the update saying it was a couple injuries, but I'm assuming for the most part it was for rest. That's about that. The Raptors don't shoot the ball very well in the first three quarters. 24 in the first quarter, 28 in the second quarter, and only 16 points scored in that third quarter. But again, it's the points given up. You know, the Raptors, I think they were down 8 after 3 quarters, but we've seen how good of a fourth quarter team this is. And they do just that, a plus 15 fourth quarter, and they find a way to beat the Orlando Magic. It was kind of scary, but the boys came out on top. And without DeMar, without your all-star, your MVP, your guy, you need your other all-star to do his thing. Kyle Lowry had to be huge in this game for this Raptor team to come away with the victory, and he was. In 36 minutes, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 9 of 18 shooting for 50%, 7 of 13 from 3, and plus 11 on the floor. He was terrific. I mean, I gotta say that Kyle, with his buddy DeMar out, he took hold of this team and is like, let's do this. And he came away with the victory. Serge Ibaka, 13.6 boards on 5 of 11 shooting. And 2 of 4 from 3. Not that great, but not the worst out there. JV, 9 points, 8 boards, but don't worry, it's only in 19 minutes of work. And he was 4 of 8 shooting, 1 of 4 from the line, and 0 of 2 from 3. So not the greatest, but it was the defense and the lack of offense. It was a really weird game. DeLon Wright had 10 off the bench. Siakam with 8. Lorenzo Brown with 7. And a great sight. Norman Powell in 18 minutes had 10 points on 4 of 7 shooting and 2 of 4 from 3. However, he was a minus 19 on the floor, whereas Lorenzo Brown was plus 23, Siakam plus 14, and very productive minutes from big man Lucas Nogueira. You know, we talk about him sometimes. It doesn't happen often. And some people said in the OKC game, in 6 minutes, he went 5 points, 5 rebounds. Why didn't you play him more? And I understand that. I understand the argument. He was hot, so let him go. But it didn't happen from Coach Casey. Today, Bebe played a little bit more time. 17 minutes. 4 points, 4 rebounds, couple blocks, 2 of 2 shooting, 0 of 2 from the free throw line, but he was a plus 16 on the floor. You know why? Because his length on the defensive end, whenever somebody drives, it makes everything difficult. And having Bebe out there is just a presence, you know? It's a really weird presence because he's a very odd guy. But it really worked out in the Raptors' favor today. And this is not a game that you're going to write up and say, chick-ching, that's when you look for the playoffs. Because it's not even remotely close. It's a 93-86 victory. Your defense was tight. It was good. But you're also playing an offensive team like a team like Orlando, who offense is not the greatest. But you find a way to come away with the victory. Obviously, the Celtics are playing OKC right now in Boston. OKC leads by 3 at the half. Boston, if they can somehow lose that game, Raptors will have a 6-game lead in first place in the Eastern Conference. Pretty nice. But as this game is done, because there's really not a whole lot to talk about, I want to briefly touch on a few things. Number one, the Raptors only shot 43% from the field. They did shoot 38% from 3, 14 of 37, which isn't all that bad. But the big problem, and this is a big fact of not having DeMar in the lineup, 9 of 17 from the free throw line, 53%. And this is something I love about what the Raptors did today. Non-shooting fouls. We don't talk about it a lot. But when you hold an opponent to 5 free throws the entire game, either the whistle is heavily in your favor, which the fouls were, 16-10. So there was, the referees were really letting the teams play today. The Raptors did a great job making those fouls non-shooting fouls. Credits to the Raptors for that. Rebounds were identical. The offensive glass were 10-6 in favor of the Orlando Magic. Not the greatest. And only 19 assists. You see what I mean, guys? When DeMar DeRozan is in the lineup, the new form DeMar DeRozan this year, who averages, what, over 5 assists per game. That's his, like, season average or something along those lines. The Raptors don't even get 20 assists in this game. It's the presence of Debo and even Fred VanVleet in there. Right? So those are big holes, but you found a way to win without them. They had a days off. You obviously know they're playing tomorrow against Cleveland, but we'll get to that in a second. 7-7 in blocks. The Raptors, 16 turnovers. Not what you like to see. Again, like I said, not a picturesque game. Not a game that you're going to look back and say, you know, okay, this, no thanks. But the way this team, and as we've seen it over the last while, the defensive intensity in the fourth quarter, being up on guys, making them in short clock situations, making everything tough. The Raptors did that in the fourth quarter, holding them to only 10 measly points in that fourth quarter, and a total of 35 the entire second half. You know, guys like Siakam, guys like Nogueira in this case, even Kyle was great in this game defensively. They worked hard. And they had to in this game. Without two of your main guys, you're going to have to find ways to win, and the Raptors did today. Win number 53 on the year, so they have to go 7-4 the rest of the way to hit that number of 60. I know it's not a big number. You know what? If you want to think of it this way, the Raptors' record for wins is 56. So if you want 57, the Raptors got to go what? 3-8 or something? 3-7? Something along those lines. I think they're going to do that. That's all we got to... No, it would be 4, right? Because at 53, we have 4-7. That makes more sense. 4-7 the rest of the way to get the franchise record in wins. Very doable. But next up for this team, as we break down this game, kind of talk about what was good, what wasn't so great. You know, it really wasn't just a great game overall because it was just a grinded-out type of performance. Credits to the team, though, for grinding it out and getting a victory. You know, but tomorrow is the game. Tomorrow, the Raptors take on the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland for the first time this season. And a lot of talk, you know, the Raptors, obviously DeMar and Freddie out today, but can they beat Cleveland and LeBron, or sorry, LeBron and Cleveland, because that's how it works, in Cleveland? Well, we're going to find out tomorrow. That's going to be one heck of a game. It's a 7 o'clock tip-off. What the heck am I talking about? Tip-off there in Cleveland. Raps look to win their second straight after that, you know, tough loss a couple nights ago against OKC. They come back with a victory. As much as it wasn't pretty, it was a victory nonetheless. And now you play a team that is going to be in the playoffs and you might at some point face against the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James. So that's all there is to it. It's going to be one heck of a game tomorrow night. I mean, I know you guys are looking forward to that, and I know if you guys listen to the podcast that Evan and I uploaded today on the TO Sports Talk podcast channel, link is in the description for that. Link to the iTunes is in the description as well for that. We talked about the games at the end of this month and how, holy smokes, these 3 games are going to be nuts. March 31st, that's a Saturday, Boston and Raptors at TD Garden. That's nuts. Monday, couple days later, Easter Monday, Toronto back in Cleveland taking on the Cavaliers. And on a back-to-back, you come back home taking on Boston again. That 3-game stretch is going to make us all go gray. But it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Alright, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys enjoyed this game because it's a Raptors win nonetheless. Guys like Siakam, Pirtle, all these guys with the energy late in the game to get the victory for this Raptor team. Proud of them. Love it. Alright, so hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this one. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below. What'd you guys think of this game? Who's your MVP? I think it's got to go to Kyle Lowry in this one. He was terrific in this one. He put this team on his back and carried them for most of the way. And he was really the driving force this entire game. But that's what we needed. I mean, you needed a game like this for Kyle to really push himself. And we'll talk to you guys next Tuesday, so a week today, podcast episode 5. We'll be breaking down all these last week's games and all that great stuff for the Leafs, Raptors, Jays, all around the leagues. That's going to be fun. Link is, like I said, link in the description for the podcast channel. the podcast itself on iTunes, and the link to the Twitters down there, and all that great stuff, all right? So we'll talk to you guys then on Tuesday. Monday, Jay's Edition, as we're going to be getting... That will be the last spring training video before the regular season kicks off next Thursday, a week, 2 days from now. It's exciting. All right, and we'll talk to you guys. Leafs edition very shortly. They're in the intermission right now, so I got to catch the third period. They're at 3-1 against Tampa right now. Hopefully they can get the victory and have won 5 straight games. And as for the Raptors, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow night. Raptors in Cleveland taking on the Cavaliers. Raptors looking for their second straight win, win number 54 on the year, and a victory against LeBron James and the Cavs. We'll talk to you guys then.